Hi there everybody, it's Jason here. This isn't another regular Digging for Antigua video. This is kind of like a storm update. Today is Tuesday the 28th of July. Just had to check my watch there. And we've got a tropical storm approaching. Well, it's not quite a tropical storm yet, but there's a system that's been developing in the Atlantic for a few days and it's getting pretty close. So it's due to come through sort of this evening through tomorrow. Could be that we're going to have tropical storm force winds. So I've been out on the boat today, making sure the boat's okay, tightening the lines, all that kind of thing, and then we've been preparing things in the house this afternoon. So one of the things that we've been doing, hence the reason for the video, is getting the garden ready. Now there's a certain amount that we could do and a certain amount that we can't do. Obviously we can't move the plants that are in the ground and do very much about that at all, so we just have to hope for the best. But I've been planting increasing amounts of plants in pots, and I've got seedlings in trays and that kind of thing, and so I've moved things around. So I thought I'd just show you the preparations that we've made. Hopefully it won't be necessary. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be thinking we wasted yesterday. But let's see. Let's have a look at what we've been doing today. For those of you that have been following my videos, this you will recognise as the main plot. There's not really very much I can do in there. I've done a bit of a harvest, taken some plants, some fruits and things that I might not have taken otherwise if the storm hadn't been approaching. But really there's not an awful lot I can do with this. And I thought I'd do just another little shot of the garden from this side. You see my corn plants are doing nice there. Hopefully they're going to be still upright by Thursday, by tomorrow and Thursday. And my pepper plants and my lovely cantaloupes and okra and all my other plants, hopefully they will survive the windy rain over the next day or so. We will see. Here is the pumpkin patch and the entrance to the grow zone, and you can see already that there used to be a big table here with a load of seedlings and various other things. There used to be a pot of mint down there and other plants in pots here, and I've moved them. I'm going to show you where I've moved them in just a second. Unfortunately the tortoises are going to stay where they are. They should be pretty good, low to the ground. They've got a sheltered area, they should be fine. But let me just show you what I've done with the rest of the plants. This is my pre-storm harvest. So I've taken a couple of the biggest cantaloupe melons and then a lot of green vegetables or salad vegetables and peppers and things that I would normally harvest every day because we eat a lot of that kind of stuff. I've taken a cabbage. There are actually fruits and leaves and things from 17 different species of plants. So here is our living room. There's a few spices and pickles that I've made with stuff from the garden there. And you can see I've been bringing some plants in from the balcony, and there is my table with my seedlings. If I can get the, that's it. And there's our hibiscus in a pot. So all these plants are going to weather the storm in this location. So if the very worst happens and the garden blows away into next door's field, which hopefully it won't, but if it does, then I've got some seedlings all ready to go, ready to plant out. And here is another load of potted plants. Here there's a couple of watermelons, that's a squash, there's various herbs and tomatoes. These things in boxes here are the lettuces that I've been growing in my high-rise lettuce garden. They're in plastic pot bottles. I built it so that I could just take them out of the frame and then bring them inside if I needed to. And there's the big load of herbs there, and then some passion fruit. I wasn't sure if I was going to move this plant, but this is a butternut squash that is growing in a pot, and you can see there's a nice big butternut there. Not quite ripe enough to harvest yet, so I would have cut that off, but we just moved that through the house from the front to the back of the garden to inside the garage. So that just shows you what you can grow from just a single pot, and presumably it's going to get much bigger than that. Here we have Kirsty in the background. Give us a wave, Kirsty. Yay! And here we have some tomatoes and peppers that I've started growing in pots from my extra seedlings. And this is one of the real benefits of it, is that I can move all these plants indoors. They're on the shelf or on the wall here, waiting for the sun to go down, then they'll move further into the garage. The reason that I'm not moving all these plants into the house is that this storm is going south of us, and so all the wind and the rain should be on the other side of the building. Unless something happens and it forms a centre that just goes to the north of us, in which case this is going to be the hot side of the house, as it were. But if things go as they appear to be going, then these plants, I'll just move them a little bit further in. They should be nice and sheltered, and then they're ready to just put back in the garden as and when things calm down. These on the fence, I think, are either okra or aubergine. I think these ones are aubergine or eggplant. And then I've got my other peppers and things in my little pots, pot bottle pots. on the fence. These are all going to come into the garage as well, but I'm leaving them there to give them the last few rays of sun before I move them. And last but not least, there's my secondary sweet potato patch. There's my papaya there, and you can see the empty frame where the lettuces in those pop bottles used to be. They'll go back, all being well, tomorrow, probably the day after, actually probably Thursday rather than tomorrow, because I think tomorrow's going to be the worst of the weather, depending whatever we get. And you can see this area now is open for the dogs to ravage it, and if they do, there's going to be some canines in deep trouble. So that's the preparations that I've been making in the garden. I thought you might find it a little bit interesting. I just want to record it for posterity what we did. And we've got a couple of pictures of the garden before the storm, because who knows what it's going to look like by this time tomorrow. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully everybody else in Antigua and the Rowdy Caribbean is safe tonight, tomorrow, and for the forthcoming few days as this storm passes through. Hopefully it's the last one we get of the season. Fingers, toes and everything crossed. Everybody else, hopefully you're doing lots of digging and having a good time in your garden. So I'll see you all later. Bye for now.